I fear you are all missing the salient point in what Wicked is about. And it's partly not your fault with ad campaign pieces that look like this. You might be led to believe that it is about female friendship, but it's not. The thesis for what Wicked the musical is about is found in the song Wonderful, which is probably not even most of y'all's top 5. It is sung by the Wizard with Elphaba and Glinda, chipping in and singing along and observing. But he teaches them how he got the title, The Wonderful Wizard of Oz. And he starts out swinging. He says at the very, very tippy top, quote, "I never asked for this or planned it in advance. I was merely blown here by the wind of chance. I never saw myself as a Solomon or a Socrates. I knew who I was. One of your dime a dozen mediocrities." So he knew he wasn't a wizard. He never lied. He says he never set out to even pretend to be the wizard. It just kind of happens. So suddenly I'm here. He's respected, worshipped even, just because the folks in Oz needed someone to believe in. Does it surprise you I got hooked? And all too soon, hey, what can I say? I got carried away. Okay, that's the setup. Here's the payoff. I never had a family of my own, so I guess I just wanted to give the citizens of Oz everything. She asks, "So you lied?" And he says, "Elphaba, where I'm from, we believe all sorts of things that aren't true. We call it history. If one more fucking person crawls into my comments and says that Wicked is not political, I will invite you over to my house so that I can beat you senseless with my tap shoes. This is a political musical. Stephen Schwartz has said it. The author of the original book has said it. It is fucking political. This is his point right here. Where I'm from, we believe all sorts of things that aren't true. We call it history." And he tells you how it happens. Ready? Next verse. "A man's called a traitor or a liberator. A rich man's a thief or a philanthropist. Is one a crusader or ruthless invader? Who gets to define how we describe Christopher Columbus? Did he discover America or did he rape and pillage his way through the new continent? Depends who's telling the story." And here it is. Here is the thesis of Wicked. Ready? It's all in which label is able to persist. I'm going to say it again. Ready, guys? It's all in which label is able to persist. What's the title of the musical? The title of the musical is Wicked. Who are we talking about? The Wicked Witch of the West. Why is she called that? Because that is the label that persisted. We don't call her Elphaba. Her nickname is the Wicked Witch of the West because that's the fucking nickname that stuck. It doesn't matter if it's true or not. Just like his nickname, they call me Wonderful. They call me the Wonderful Wizard of Oz because that's the label that persisted, because that's what the people wanted to believe. The people met him, they wanted to believe he was wonderful, and they wanted to believe that Elphaba was wicked. He says that. It doesn't really matter what's true. It only matters what people want to believe. And they wanted to believe this about you. Is one a crusader or ruthless invader? Depends who you fucking ask, doesn't it? That is the point of Wicked. He who controls the narrative controls reality. Whichever label is able to persist, that is how you will become known. That's why having feminism and intersectionality in history is so fucking important. If white men control the history books, then of course they're going to continue to tell their own stories in positive and uplifting ways, right? They're going to sell themselves as the hero of their own story. That's why books like Howard Zinn's The People's History of the United States is so important. That's why having women telling their own stories is so important. That's why people of color must be listened to and represented and be able to tell their own stories. That's the whole point of Wicked. We finally see this character from her own point of view. We learn the truth behind the label. And that's why it hooks into our imagination so much, because it tells another side of a story that we thought we already knew. It pulls back the curtain and gives us the truth about these characters. Who Elphaba really was. She's not wicked at all. It's a story warning us about the pervasiveness of propaganda. It is political.